What you're about to hear is not a closed case. It's not even fully documented. Because when a person disappears quietly, without violence, without witnesses, without a viral headline, the system doesn't rush to explain it. In late 2025, a man named Daniel Davis III was reported missing in Chicago. No public crime scene, no confirmed struggle, no viral manhunt, just absence. And that's what should disturb you, because people don't vanish loudly anymore. They vanish between systems. Tonight, we're not just asking where Daniel Davis III went. We're asking something worse. How easy is it to disappear in one of America's most watched cities, without anyone noticing? Comment, still missing, if you believe silence is the most dangerous clue of all. Who was Daniel Davis III? Daniel Davis III was not a celebrity, not a known criminal, not a public figure. And that is precisely why his disappearance matters. Most missing cases that go viral share something dramatic: money, violence, status, or spectacle. Daniel's case, as reported, does not. He was described as functional, present, and integrated into daily life. No public history of instability. No obvious warning signs released. And here's the uncomfortable truth most people avoid. People who disappear quietly are often assumed to have chosen it. But assumption is not evidence. Do you think quiet disappearances are taken less seriously? Yes or no? The last known window. What we have is not a dramatic final moment. No confirmed phone call. No public CCTV clip. No emergency alert. Instead, we have a gap. And in missing person investigations, gaps are dangerous. Because gaps allow speculation to replace facts, narratives to harden without proof, and cases to stall permanently. Chicago is a city layered with cameras, transit data, and digital infrastructure. So here's the question investigators hate. Did Daniel vanish suddenly, or gradually fall out of visibility? Those are not the same thing. Which is scarier to you? Sudden disappearance or slow erasure? The Chicago factor. Chicago is not just a city. It's a system. Transit systems, housing systems, employment systems, policing systems. And people don't just disappear from Chicago. They disappear within it. Large cities create a dangerous illusion. Constant movement feels like constant observation. But density actually hides absence. Person can miss one bus, then another, then stop showing up. And no alarm sounds. Could someone disappear in your city without you noticing? Theory 1. Voluntary withdrawal. This theory is always raised first, that Daniel chose to leave. But here's what voluntary disappearance actually requires. Planning, money, identity separation, long-term concealment. Most people who attempt it fail, not because they're careless, but because modern life records you constantly. So if Daniel chose this, why no financial trail? Why no digital noise? Why no accidental sightings? Silence this complete is rare. Theory 2. System failure. Sometimes people don't disappear. They fall between agencies. Missed report timelines. Jurisdiction confusion. Data that doesn't sync. No conspiracy required. Just inefficiency. And inefficiency can erase a person faster than violence. Do you trust systems to notice when someone is gone? Theory 3. Undocumented encounter. This theory is uncomfortable. It suggests Daniel encountered someone desperate, someone reckless, or someone invisible to records. Not a criminal mastermind, just someone whose actions never entered the system. No violence caught on camera doesn't mean no violence occurred. It may simply mean no one was watching at the right second. The most disturbing possibility, the hardest theory to accept is this. Nothing dramatic happened. No crime.
No chase. No tragedy.
Daniel simply lost connection to people, to routines, to visibility. And when visibility ends, existence becomes optional in the system. Theory 4. The digital shadow disappearance. This theory doesn't focus on where Daniel Davis III went. It focuses on how he stopped being seen. In modern America, existence is digital first. You are known by phone pings, app logins, location permissions, financial microtransactions. But here's the uncomfortable truth most people don't realize. You can be physically present and digitally erased at the same time. If Daniel's phone was lost, destroyed, powered off, or deliberately abandoned, his digital presence would collapse instantly.
No pings, no updates, no breadcrumbs.
From that moment forward, he would become what investigators call a cold profile, a person with no real-time data. What makes this theory unsettling is that it doesn't require a crime, a villain, or planning. It only requires one moment of separation from technology. And once that happens, the system stops looking. Do you think you'd still be traceable without your phone? Theory 5. The invisible hours theory. Every missing person case has something investigators rarely talk about publicly. Unaccounted time. Not days, not weeks, sometimes just hours. And those hours matter more than everything else. If Daniel went missing during a period when no one expected him, no one checked in, no one needed confirmation, then his disappearance wouldn't trigger alarms immediately. This creates what investigators quietly call invisible hours, a window where anything can happen without documentation.
No cameras flagged.
No witnesses remember. No timeline locks in. Once that window closes, reconstruction becomes nearly impossible. This theory suggests Daniel didn't vanish suddenly. He slipped out of relevance first. And by the time people noticed, the trail was already gone. How long could you go without someone noticing you're missing? Theory 6. The environmental erasure possibility. Chicago is a city of layers. Above ground, traffic, cameras, people. Below ground, tunnels, service corridors, abandoned infrastructure. Most people don't realize how much of a city exists outside public awareness. This theory suggests Daniel may have entered an environment where visibility drops to zero, evidence degrades rapidly, recovery becomes unlikely, not because of violence, but because of environmental complexity. In places like this, sound doesn't travel, signals don't ping, and time works differently. Once someone enters, the city absorbs them, and absorption leaves no signature. Do you think cities hide more than they reveal? Theory 7. The misidentification gap. This theory is subtle and deeply unsettling. It suggests Daniel didn't disappear completely. He may have been seen, but not recognized. Hospitals, shelters, transit systems, emergency encounters all rely on correct identification. If someone gives a wrong name, has no ID, is disoriented or unresponsive, they can pass through multiple systems without being linked back to a missing person report. No conspiracy required, just human error. And once records fragment, reunification becomes nearly impossible. This theory asks a terrifying question. How many missing people are actually present? Just mislabeled. Do you trust systems to correctly identify everyone they encounter? Theory 8. The silent intervention theory. This is the theory investigators rarely say out loud. It suggests that someone intervened, not violently, not criminally, but decisively. Someone who redirected, relocated, or removed Daniel from his usual environment. Without chaos, without witnesses, without evidence. This doesn't imply malice. It implies control. And control leaves fewer traces than panic ever does. If this theory is true, the absence of evidence isn't a failure. It's the result. Is silence sometimes more intentional than noise? How these theories change the case. Each of these theories shares one disturbing common point. Daniel didn't need to be harmed to be lost. He only needed to be disconnected, unobserved, or misrouted, and once that happens, resolution becomes optional. Why this case matters. Daniel Davis III may still be alive. He may not. But what matters is this. If a person can vanish without noise, without outrage, without urgency, then disappearance is no longer rare. It's procedural. Comment, remember the name. If you believe missing people deserve attention before closure. Subscribe if you want investigations that don't stop at comfortable answers. Some cases aren't unsolved. They're unattended.